Hi, and welcome to episode 9 of my Factorio Vanilla series. My name is Icon, and today we're going to plan out the real base and start building it. I've did a little bit of researching and a little bit of thinking, a little bit of preparing, and now we're here. So the idea will be clear. We're going to build around this area our new base. We're going to expand into southern direction, and I'm going to talk a lot about the theory behind that, why I want to do what I want to do, and we're going to build up basically what we have here in a larger scale. So let's get started with that. And if you haven't done already, please leave a subscription on my channel. It helps so much for me, and you can get notifications about new content whenever you feel like that. So what I did beforehand was I got myself some water storage here, because water is quite far away. The next body of water was sitting around here or here. So I felt like I was going for this because I already declared for myself that my smelting process will happen here. The so-called main bus will be the area where I transport all the raw materials in a larger scale, which I need to build my factory. That's going to be iron, copper, and a lot of other little nifty things like steel and electronic circuits, and you'll see there's going to be more happening on that thing than you want to in no time. And between that, I figured out the steam power area will be around here, because the coal I produce here will be piped into the smelting area. So I figured if I let it just run along here, I can build up a little power plant with ease that just gets fed on the way while supplying the furnaces. And today we're going to start setting up the smelting area, setting up defenses, and yeah, a lot of things will happen in a very rapid succession, so I'm going to work a little bit quicker compared to the other episodes. So if there are any questions open at the end of this episode, please drop them down into the comments. But I'm not going to do too many things we haven't seen before yet. But I just want to make sure that the expansion here doesn't take forever anymore. Because usually I don't have to take this kind of hassle. Most of the time I just expand from my starter base into the next ore patches. This is more or less a uncommon situation for me, because the resources, I wouldn't say they trolled me exactly, but they weren't too nice to me either. Like when we look at that map in a moment, the larger amounts of material were really far away to begin with. So I'll go for some turrets right away. Not ammunition. I'm not putting too much ammunition into them, because right now I have no clue where I'm really going to need the turrets. So some turrets with just the basic amount of ammunition are just fine. So here we are going to set up the power plant. Right now they're burning that fuel that was filled automatically into the boilers, which is not exactly a good thing, but whatever. So now I'm taking the powers and run them along. Here's oil. We're going to use that later, but the amount is really puny, so I hope I'm finding some other deposit in the future, because with this amount of oil we're not going to be satisfying our long time needs. This is a nice oil deposit to do some oil tutorial. But it's they shouldn't be that small, okay? Yeah, we need a few more pump jacks to get some business going. Alright, these are a whopping amount of 38 miners, way more than we actually need for the belt. The belt would only tackle 30 of them. But these miners run dry one day, and there's going to be more powerful belts in the future, so it's okay to overfeed that thing a little bit. So here we are, already starting out with the new power supply. And it's a little bit more tidy compared to the old one. So, yeah, now they're having trouble with the power, with the fuel much more, but it's all going according to plan. So now we got to set up our smelting. I grabbed myself a few grenades in between this and the last episode to be able to clear out these areas a little bit more easily. Because grenades are really pretty much the best thing in vanilla to clear out forests, and most of the time those forests are not complying with your plans, and you can't really tell them to move somewhere else, so you know, it's just the way it goes. I'm going to use this to get myself some handcrafted ammo going in between. No, I don't want to toss furnaces at them. Sometimes I feel like I want to, but that's another story. Next step leads me down to those ore patches, because these are the next important things. And after the ammo crafting, I realize that I really need to go back to my base and fetch myself some copper plates, because I'm almost out of power poles, and we can't do anything without those. So let's fetch those. I'll be right back in a second. So, back in action. I went for a little shopping spree here, and maybe I picked up a little bit more than the things which I had in mind. But since I'm building a fully fledged new base, I think it's completely fine to pack a few things more. We're going to travel down to the iron now, because I feel like the iron is the most important place to begin with. So I think it's a quite luxurious situation to have two big patches available. So I'm going to start out with a smaller one, because why not? So just freeing this area a little bit around the edges from trees to make the logistics around this area a little bit easier. And I can already tell that this direction here I'll need for transporting away those ores. So gotta say goodbye to them trees. There we go. Alright, so this will be enough. Let's start mining. Here we have 2.8 million iron ore, and while this patch is not too large compared with the starting one, it's much more dense. You can already see it a little bit also in the graphics. So we're going to I'm going to set it up like that. Just want to make sure that after I'm done here, nothing of this patch will remain. So I'm going to set up a little bit more than 30 miners for now on that belt. Basically just 2 columns. This is going to be one smelting furnace section. So these are 41 miners. Yeah, well, too much, I know, but I'm not going too crazy about that, because I'm just taking things as they are right now, which is the easiest way to begin with. But later on, I plan on building some mineral distribution hub if we need to. Alright, so now I can take that belt all the way up here. You can, of course, always stand on that belt and speed up your process. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with the smelting as soon as we've passed the water pipes. There we go. So this is going to be my first smelter array. From here on, I'm going to pipe off coals via splitters. So here we go. And since I want to get that thing going quite easily, we're also needing to do one of these wonderful things. we're going to set up a splitter in between here and filter it on iron ore. Put it on this side. And then we're going to make something like that. And if it doesn't make sense now, it will do in a minute. So there we go. Now let's bring some power down to these guys. I could be using the better power poles by now, but sadly I don't have the necessary pre-production right now. I also want to put down some radar panels here to achieve some control. So give me a sec, please. This is something I want to do in between because it's really, really important to me personally to have the vision coverage as soon as possible. So I'm going to set up a few turrets on all sides just to make sure that this one is not an easy prey to the biters. There we go. So once everything down here is up and running, I'm going to dislodge what I have up there because we don't need that anymore. Okay, so I wanted to bring power to the miners. All right. So let's go. Just picking up the power lines here. I would love to use the larger power poles already, but well, I think this part of the factory will run old-fashioned for quite some time because most of the time, once I start having a power network like this, I don't redo them regularly. I'm just that kind of a lazy person. There's too much to do in the factory in general. So there we go. But too much to do, that's a basic excuse of lazy people, you know. I'm well aware of that. But gaming's supposed to be fun. As soon as your Factorio game starts to feel like a chore or like work, that it might be the case that you overplayed Factorio a little bit. Happens to the best of us. I think that's a natural side effect of this game. Once you play it too much, it can be quite exhausting. Because while I'm having fun, like I don't know, my brain is working a lot here. This game is not it's not as easy as it looks like. All right, there we go, iron ore, and let's demonstrate you what I did there before. Room up there. And, okay, I was quicker than my ore. But if everything goes according to plan, I'm going to end up having the iron ore on one side and the coals on the other side. And this is a ideal supply for a smelter array. There we go. So, now then. This one here is able to satisfy two, or no, this is able to satisfy a workforce of 7.5 units of iron per second. So let's think. If I want to have another pipe later, I have to split it away before this here happens, because this here now is only 7.5 units of iron. So what I'm going to do later is I'm going to pick another pipe, and this is going to be the other 7.5 units of iron we use for the next smelter array. But now I can just go quite easily along this. So let's go back to the planning tool for a moment, and we're now going to crank up the output to 15. 15 units of iron plate are being produced by 48 stone furnaces. So that's quite a lot. That's seriously quite a lot. All right. So here, I was wondering what was my mistake. So you can also shift right click here, just like that. You can do exactly the same thing. But in this scenario, I don't want to have it, because we're going to have another plan in my mind. All right. So basically, it's quite simple. There we go. So I'm not connecting it right away to avoid more iron ore in my inventory. So I'm just preparing here another one, and well, I can might as well pipe it off here, because the actual need of coal per second per furnace column is only 1.1 per second. So 48 smelting furnaces will still only use 1.1 units of coal per second. So I can easily put a lot of strain on this piece of belt. I try to think about how much workforce will be on a belt before I work bigger with it. Like, I try to think about how many of these 15 items per second will I really use. So it's really, I consider it quite helpful to have those thoughts going on beforehand. So, well. That was actually not exactly what I wanted. Well, anyways, I'm not the kind of player which makes very tidy builds. So if you love tidy builds, I'm sorry if I disappoint you, because I will disappoint you. So here we go. Now the really tricky part about it is measuring 24 furnaces. So I like to use this. These are 10. Let's do 2 more. My personal favorite is Control Copy here, or Control C. Oh, it's already 14. Can't count anymore. Control C, and now I'll just do this. And this way I don't need to break my noggin anymore. Come on. Sometimes I wonder who's really in control here. All right. So this is now the slimmed down version of the furnaces here. We just need a lot less material with this version. Compared to the other one I built in the starter base. I can show it to you once we have set it up completely. I'm only building 24 here, 24 smelters, because we're going to put the other 24 on the other side. So let's go for a little underground belt right here. And now this will be the output direction. And now I can just Control C again and pick this up and mirror it. So this way I don't have to think much. I can just copy what's here already. And this is going to be a full output of 15 units of iron plate per second. Okay, just need to get the belts along and then get the power on it. And this is going to be what we're doing a lot now. I'm going to bring up more workforce into this base now. That's why I ponied up so insanely many inserters and belts and yeah, you see what's happening here. We got lots of work to do. All right, so let's prepare these. Oh, I'm out of belts already, you see. So well, okay, this is just this is hurting my eyes. I have to do it differently. Sometimes it happens to me that I notice that I really dislike something because I notice that I can make it better. This is something, once you have that feeling, you're inside the zone with all the other Factorio players out there. So it's a normal feeling. All right, there we go. But this is a lot better efficiency-wise, I think. I mean, yeah, whatever. Once I start doing these things, I always begin to notice that you can do it a little bit more compact, and a little bit more compact, and a little bit more compact. There are people out there which made it a sport to make very, very compact yet efficient blueprints. I admire these people. So now I'm putting in the power, and this is the beginning of a wonderful supply. Alright. On this episode I'm going to set up only coal, only iron and copper to begin with. Maybe I'm going to cover up steel too, I don't know yet. Alright, so this is going to be number ones. Of course, again, don't let them undefended. So it's my typical go-to strategy that I just go for low ammo turrets until I know where the threats are coming from. Are these covering up an attack from this side? Yeah, they are. Okay. So, yeah. Great. We got belts. Plates. So now let's lead them to the area designated as the main bus. And you might already notice we're taking here rotten amounts of belts. That's normal. It's perfectly normal. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of a detour to have room between me and the copper patch here. Okay, so this is where we started. There's a gigantic forest here, so I'm going to kill a lot of trees between this and the next episode. So yeah, I'm going to do that off camera though. I love killing trees, but I don't think you guys love watching me while doing so. So next step, of course, is the copper patch. Again, I try to set them up in a manner that no leftovers will be produced out of this patch. So here we go. I want to put up at least 30 of them though, because I want to fill up the belt completely. There it goes. Alright. I'm pretty sure that that this is going to be too much for my belt inventory already. So there we go. When you need to cover really large distances, belts will stop to be the ideal tool, because belts are neat and everything, but trains are just more efficient in transporting large amounts of produce. But this is going to be something for the future. So here we are, out of belts again. I used all the stuff in my trunk, and we're going to have more of that in the future. So let's take a little drive back to the home base. I mean, this is going to be not necessary anymore quite soon. I think I'm going to leave those patches just unmined, because the amount of work necessary to fetch a couple of 100,000 of iron and copper ore stand in no relation to the gains. Just would be very tedious for almost no gain. So speaking about which, noticing that I really need larger amounts of belt here. So let's increase the buffer sizes a little bit, because with 300 units of belt, I'm not going to get far. Alright, but the good news, I would be already able to set up a little facility to automate belt production down there. But I want to buffer up a little bit. So I hit a tree. If you hit something, you have to repair your car. Well, can't wait for it a little bit longer. No! So that's a reason why some people dislike cars. But most of the time, I'm a safe driver. Most of the time. There we go. So these are the first steps on our new journey to wealth. Let's think about one thing more though. So I'm smelting iron here. Will I do more iron smelting? I think I'm going to expand the iron smelting into this direction, and we're going to smelt copper into this dimension. Yeah, let's go. I just want to make sure that everything has room to grow, because that's very, very important. And because it's really important to me as well, I'm going to put up a little assembly here for belts, because you know, it's super annoying to need to be walking or driving back to your base for something I can produce here quite easily. So let's fetch up some fast inserters. Yeah, I'm doing it a little bit overkill style here, but I don't mind. So last inserter for the iron plates. There we go. This is going to help me expanding this place a lot. Low effort, high value, high returns. I like that concept. Alright, so here we go. Of course, I'm going to relocate the belt production to a more sophisticated spot later on, but for now, give it unsorted and give it to me unsorted and improvised. That's how I like my bases. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing we did before. I'm going to put up a copper splitter thingy. And wait a sec. Gotta do it like that. And there we go. So this, let's copy that recipe again, and that. Alright, put another splitter into it, and then we're going to have a T-merger here. Yeah, well, let's do it like that. Looking a little bit funky, but it'll work nevertheless. There we go. So these are now the supply belts for my new copper smelting array to be. And let's get some power to the mining array. So these are the basics how I do them once I have everything that I want to have. I really like to go for full smelter arrays right away, and usually when I do my starter bases without recording it a little bit more beginner friendly, I do similar setups to begin with. You can do most of the things I'm doing right now already with the starter base. It was just a question of accessibility to me, and I didn't want to rush in with all the more complicated and complex things right away, because honestly, this game confused me so much, and it still confuses me at times. So I just wanted to make sure that the pacing is right. Oh, one more thing. I left my mining patches undefended, so it happens so quickly to to risk everything. Alright, so the only thing this place doesn't have in larger amounts are stones. That's something I really don't like about the position here. Because so far I'm getting everything without end, but stones are nowhere to be found except for here. So if things go really bad, this is going to be the place where we're getting our stones, and we're going to ship them down here with via trains. Worst case scenario. That's what trains are there for. So let's quickly put up the smelters. Is my car? There's my car. And then let's wrap up the episode there. So my old base is still getting attacked here and there. Nothing too special. Nothing too unexpected, I'd say. The power grid here is happy as it could be. And now let's now there goes the copper in. So now I can just Control C and pick up the whole smelter column. So remove those trees and Control V to bring it up again. So I want to check out. I didn't work quite properly here. Yeah, well, let's do it like this anyways. So I think I have to rework the supply lines again because they look a little bit janky here. Yeah, I'm going to do that a little bit better next episode. So here, my main mistake was I tried to set up the belts before I had set up the rest. Most of the time, it's ideal to set up your facility first and then connect the logistics as efficiently as possible. Here I tried to put up the logistics first and then, yeah, that's you see, that's what happening. That's what happens there. But well, it's not that bad. That's a wonderful thing about this game, and something I really love about Factorio. You're never getting punished for your mistakes too hard. Most of the time, that is. There are a few harder mistakes that are just going to hurt a little bit, but not too many. So you see here, I did a quite smart thing to produce my belts down here, because I'm already out of belts again. They're just getting used so quickly. Alright, so you see here, we're having this done now, and by using Control Copy and Control Paste, I'm getting things done a lot quicker, because now I'm not even thinking anymore. I'm just following those sketches here. It's like coloring a book for kids. So I really like that. Later on, we get robots to build that for us. So these little hiccups I do here and there are not happening anymore. So let's do this. All right. Yeah. With things like these, I can now just drag and drop with my left mouse button. I just need to make sure that I don't slip. But if you're able to pull a straight line, you can just hold the left mouse button here. But such things like these are meant to happen. Just wanted to let you know that this game is very user-friendly once you get used to the rather unusual amount of keybind shortcuts. I mean, if you're using graphics editors a lot, or other programming tools that use a lot of shortcuts, I think you're going to grow accustomed to that in no time. But it took me quite some time. So you see here, inserters gone. 2 columns of smelter arrays are eating so many resources, it's insane. And that's why we have to bring up so much production. Because compared with the stuff I started with, we're now having insanely large production amounts. There we go. The only thing we're needing now... Oh gosh. No! I put them all into the wrong direction. I gave you such an ill advice. Don't do that. Don't do that at home. Of course, silly me. Can't do it that easily. So, well... There I tricked myself. So sometimes you have just to do these things because my mind went the wrong way. Your mind will go a wrong way here and there too. That's I learned to be amused with these little things, and be amused with yourself. Don't get grumpy if mistakes are happening. It's a very, very solid piece of advice in life in general. Pretty smart guy I've listened to said once, whenever you're mad about something, ask yourself, will I be mad about this in 2 weeks still? Most of the time the answer is no. And if that's the case, most of the time you can just work on yourself, getting a little bit less angry there. But well, Factorio is pretty much a perfectionist's game, so alright, so let's go here. But it has also room for chaotic minds like mine. Alright, here we are sitting at the brink of a new wonderful beginning. Alright, I'm giving the copper, well no, that's too white. That's too white. So, I'm giving the copper some room to float, but there's one thing. So I'm not going to use more than a width of this. So 4 belts of iron will be all the stuff I'll take. So I'd say we're going to leave at least 2 grids between this array and the other. Let's leave 3 because I like that. And let's do it like that. So the basic plan here is just to make sure that one day this whole thing has enough room to develop properly, and there come more wonderful copper plates. All right, friends, that's the end of this episode. I'm not sure how much homework I'm going to do between this and the next episode, but I'm trying to do as much of these menial and boring tasks as I can between this and the next episode, so we're able to set up the base a little bit more detailed with new features that were not in the starter base before in the next episode. All right, friends, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you had your fun and learned something along the way, maybe. I don't know. Most importantly, I hope you had fun. And I also hope that you are coming back for the next episode too. And feel free to leave a like and or a subscription to my channel. As I mentioned before, it's very, very important to me and you help me a lot. But that's not so important, not that important at all. Most importantly, have a wonderful time and see you then. Bye-bye.